Greetings, my people. Today we're going to see if we can beat Todd Howard's Nightmare, Skyrim, but not the main plot because screw editing 12 hours of footage again. So today we'll be playing Can You Beat Skyrim Civil War with only your fist. I'm playing as a Gajit in this run because their fists deal 15 damage per hit, which is better than an unimproved Dwarven sword, so we're going to the damage front for the beginning of the run. After talking to some friends of mine and every single one of them telling me to do Stormcloaks, I decided to go Imperial, as I could only vaguely remember starting at once. Starting with the second preset for Gajit, we make our way through the starter dungeon with Hadvar and claw our way through the dungeon, which I thought was way too easy for the difficulty, so I set it to Expert. I thought I was going straight to Legendary, but I didn't want to torture myself just yet. Making my way as fast as I could through Riverwood to the Whiterun stables, not entering the city though, I took the carriage to Solitude and spoke to General Tullius, and was sent on a journey to a fort to clear out some bandits. After traveling through the mountains for half an hour, I arrived at the fort and it was full of bandits. I wiped out easily in a few minutes. The only real challenge at the fort was the bandit chief who had a delectable set of iron armor that would be mine, though he didn't like the idea, so I had to claw his eyes out. Returning to the general, I get sworn into the Legion officially, and I am placed into the control of the Legate, where she sends me to get the Dragon Crown. I was surprised that this quest was different on the Imperial side compared to the Stormcloaks, as we were the ambushers and the ambushed the Stormcloaks. Pushing down into the dungeon, I was able to drop a Stormcloak in 3 hits, and the Draugr in 4 hits. So it was quite simple with my new iron armor from the Bandit Chief. Making our way to the end of the dungeon, the Draugr Overlord appeared on his throne. I got a few good hits on him, then he got up and started tearing into the Legate, but before long, he was overwhelmed, and at level 2, a Draugr Overlord had been defeated, and the crown was mine. Returning to Solitude, I gave the crown to the General, and he gave it to the Thane, as a symbol for prestige. My next assignment was to do the Battle of Whiterun. I was sent with information to give to Balgriff. I'd never been in the city yet, so the guards acted like I was just from Helgen, and so did Balgriff. And I was very disappointed when I learned I had to complete all of Dragon's Rising to precede the Civil War. So after speaking to the Jarl, I begrudgingly marched my way to Bleakfell's Barrow, and do all the normal stuff, wiping out all the bandits and Draugr easily. My favorite moment of this dungeon is doing the Dragon Claw without even looking at it. Just move all of them twice and the door will open. Making my way to the wall, I pick up the word and start fighting the Draugr boss. I get a good few hits on him, but then he gets a big hit on me, but then doesn't pursue me for some reason. So I'm able to back up a heal and slowly take him down and acquire the Dragonstone. Some more talking later, I'm making my way to the Dragon Watchtower in some of the most beautiful rain in Skyrim I've ever seen. The dragon was not a hard fight overall, except a few times where he tried to roast me. He then fell, and I am pronounced Dragonborn, but I do not care in the slightest, so I immediately go back to the Jarl and give him the letters from Tullius, to which then Balgriff, the master tactician, sends me to the enemy capital to speak to Ulfric, which denies Balgriff's peace offering, and so then I head back to meet up with my superiors, and the defense begins. The defense of Whiterun was a real disappointment, as the Stormcloak soldiers would just charge into and through the barricades, and get cut down by me, while the Imperial archers give me suppressing fire. After about 6 minutes of the siege was over, and we won, and I listened to Balgriff give a subpar speech, and I'm back to Solitude for my next orders. I'm going to meet the Legate at a camp near Winterhold and follow her orders. She tells me to track down a Stormcloak courier and get the info about troop movements from him. Another short walk, I find the guy outside an inn, and I see him running away from a wolf, and I teach him the simple lesson that a 6-foot-tall cat is much scarier than a dog on the side of the road. I get the documents and return to Legate, and then sends me to Winterhold, where I give them the fake information and they totally believe me, even though I was in their capital city as an enemy agent 2 days prior. Now that the false information about troop movements was delivered, we can attack the fort that we lied about that was getting reinforced. This is the part of the run where the game was starting to actually get hard, as I was taken down the understaffed fortress for the Legate, where not once but twice I got clapped by 2 Stormcloaks with steel warhammers. Both times I still had half health left, but they kill camped me. Third time's the charm though, I just let the random soldiers kill the fort, and then it was rinse and repeat for about an hour, till I was sent on a special mission to get some dirt on the Steward of Rifton. I entered their hold through the always reliable carriage man, and to Mistolf Keep I went, I tried beaming my way into a room, but there was a guard, so I had to wait for them to go around the corner. So I could make my way to the steward's room, and from there, it was only opening a drawer and stealing a letter, and I had the steward wrapped around my finger. She told me about a caravan of valuable weapons and gold on its way to Winterhold, and that there was enough time for us to ambush it, and take it for ourselves, and we do just that, meeting up with a Hadvar outside the caravan's camp. We killed the sentry, and I rushed down and wiped out the caravan, and began looting the caravan, where I found nothing of use at all. We were approaching the end of this journey, and so I went back to the Legate for my second to last mission. It was just like the other ones to take out a fortress of Stormcloaks, and it was kind of disappointing. But it was different than usual. I had to sneak in and rescue some captured legionnaires, and then we bust out and slaughter them all. Getting in was simple, and I used a set of keys off a body, and I saved the legionaries, and they geared up. And as expected, we wiped them all out. Quickly making my way to the improvised camp, we begin the assault on Winterhold immediately. The fighting itself was quite simple, as there were about 20 Imperial soldiers with me constantly, including the Immortal Legate and Tullius. We pushed through the barrier after barrier until we made it inside the castle. Tullius delivered the final ultimatum, which Ulfric denied obviously, so I did the final courtesy and defeated him, not in the way Tullius wanted with his sword, but defeated him no less. Walking outside the castle walls victorious, I, Noobs24, have beaten Skyrim Civil War with only my fist. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like the video for more. This took me much longer to create than I thought originally, and it truly helps me out. Anyway, have a nice day. Goodbye.